In case you haven't watched our last few videos, we have been spending almost a week together as a family in the Colombian rainforest.
I can't believe I'm swimming in the Amazon. When we first got to the rainforest, we asked the kids what they most wanted to see. And monkeys were way up at the top of the list, and so were dolphins.
Monkeys, pink dolphins.
Monkeys with the like white fur around it. Monkeys, pink dolphins, some dolphins, pink dolphins, monkeys.
So when we were planning our excursions, we were really excited when we found out there was a monkey sanctuary that we could go visit a little deeper into the jungle. We're off for a full day adventure this time. Who knows where we're going?
We're going to see monkeys and
We're going to go visit a foundation in the forest that helps to save monkey species.
It's monkey time. When we got there, we were met by a guide, and she took us on a little bit of an Amazon like jungle hike to get to this place where the water had risen enough that we could get in another boat to take us to the monkey reserve. And that was so epic. I mean, it felt like
Epic equals crazy and a little bit freaky.
oh, it was so beautiful because like we were in the water. And you feel like you should be hiking through these it's like dense trees. You feel like you should be hiking through it, but you're going through it in this little boat, and she has to steer around all these trees. There's no definable path. And it's sort of a little bit freaky too, because you know that there's piranhas in there, and there's caiman in there. Caiman are kind of like crocodiles or alligators. There's sea snakes in there.
Could be
and
things up in the trees.
And you're like an inch away from getting in the water. So we were all really excited to see monkeys. We didn't really know what to expect, but we knew there were monkeys here, and we hoped that we could get up close and personal with them.
There was really no question of that because, I mean, the moment that we got off of the boat, those monkeys were like right there, and they wanted to see what was going on, and they wanted to get to know us, and especially the kids.
I'm done though. What do we do? Is it that deep?
It's not that deep. You can step in slowly.
And it's too short. No. See it?
Yeah,
no.
he's not aggressive.
Just play the.
He's just trying to play with you.
Okay.
Take it back. It's okay. We can get it back. Monkeys are kind of like kids. They're pretty mischievous.
Yeah.
You can see it like in their eyes. Like they're messing around with you. They're playing with you, and they're really funny.
Yeah. Right after arriving, we walked up to the monkey sanctuary and sat down to learn about the sanctuary and the work that they do there. But Oliver started crying because he had fallen down off the bench mysteriously. And then we realized he didn't fall off. A monkey came by and pushed him off. And then the monkey went over to Kepler and pushed him off and started trying to push Johanna off. And it didn't seem mean-spirited. It actually seemed just kind of playful and like the monkey was trying to have a good time. But that kind of was like our introduction to the monkeys, and it was really fun.
When we had seen monkeys on a night hike a few days before, Caden had been a little bummed out because this one monkey really took a liking to Ryan and kind of clung onto Ryan and didn't want to let go. But Caden felt like the monkey totally hated him and didn't want to hang out with him, and he was really bummed out because he so wanted to connect with the monkey.
It's so cute.
Should I take a flight? I don't think he likes it.
The really fun thing for Caden was that he was kind of the most popular kid on the playground. Like, the monkeys really seemed to prefer him over anybody else.
Oh, here we go. Do you want it?
He wants it.
He's like really healthy though. Yeah. You're gonna hold it.
Oh,
Another one. Do you see his face? Daddy, take a picture.
not only were the monkeys really playful, but they were also a little mischievous and kind of naughty.
He's stealing! He's stealing!
What is he stealing? Oh, Abby, did you leave this open? Did he open it?
Did he open it? Oh my god!
por eso.
You opened it! Oh my god!
At the monkey sanctuary, they will have as many as 10 different monkey species there at a time. But when we were there, they had just 4.
Yeah.
A capuchin, a Colombian dingo, a watched cuckoo, and a rainbow butt monkey.
What? This is not true. They did have 4 species. They were not called that.
Okay, we can't exactly remember what the names were. And frankly, I don't even know if there was a capuchin.
There was a capuchin.
Oh, there was a capuchin. I knew that for sure. The monkeys seemed to think that Oliver was perhaps one of them, or maybe like a competitor.
Yeah, I don't know if it was because he was small or what, but they were a little bit kind of rough with him.
Oh, he likes you all.
Él se iba cada nada de aquí de la fundación para Mocagua, se volaba casi 4 veces.
In the face. Oh!
Oh, he's gonna fight you.
Are you okay? Oh!
Even though all the monkeys were really mischievous and kind of like cocky and playful, they were also really sweet, and it was hard not to grow attached to them.
Wow, you're so lucky when they go in there. Oh, wait, that's cute.
Oh, like a little baby.
Oh.
Los niños mucho disfrutan.
Ok, bien, gracias.
Those monkeys were really nice.
Mommy, you forget about us needing a pet puppy, a kitten.
Why do you need a pet when you get to keep meeting all these amazing animals all over
I'm
the
not
world?
saying forget about having a pet. I'm saying forget about puppies and cats. Let's get a monkey.
Oh, I see. We've changed from dogs and cats to monkeys.
The whole time, I wasn't that interested in dogs or cats.
Okay.
I was interested in extraordinary creatures.
Even though we had been to the lake the day before, where we went really on purpose to try to see the river dolphins, we had seen some, but we really wanted to see a bit more. The dolphins we'd seen were kind of far away. We got to see them really briefly. So on our way back from the monkey sanctuary, we asked our guide if we could stop in the river and try to see more. We saw so many more dolphins, including the gray dolphins, also some of the pink ones that we most wanted to see.
We loved our time in Puerto Nariño, but unfortunately it was time to go back. So we took the boat back, and we had a whole afternoon to kill in Leticia. And so we found this place called Mundo Amazonas and decided to spend the afternoon there.
One thing that we didn't really take into account, and we should have, and we kind of thought, this is a big place with all these reviews. Of course, they'll take credit cards. Of course, they did not take credit cards. And we realized we had very little cash on us because we hadn't checked before we left. So we were kind of rescued by this lady named Anna Maria.
She very quickly said, well, how much money do you have? And, you know, we didn't even have enough for our entrance fees for the whole family. Like, we were probably about, I don't know, $20 shy of that. But we'd also come, and we didn't tell her this, but we'd also come
We were
expecting
hungry.
to have lunch. We hadn't eaten anything. And she's like, oh, but you have to eat lunch here, and then you have to see this exhibit which costs more, and have to see this exhibit which costs more. And so she said, okay, how much money do you have? And she said, okay, you know what, we can do it for like 2/3 of what we had, just so we'd have enough money to get us home safely. And
She just kept making up fake discounts,
Yeah.
basically, so that we could do everything she thought that we should do. We were really lucky that she made it possible for us to eat in her restaurant because the food was so good. And she told us about everything that was in it. So much of it was either locally sourced or actually grown right there on the property. And the fish, they wrapped it up in some kind of a leaf, and it was cooked over sort of a grill, and it was just delicious. Everything was so good.
that was the most amazing fish I think I've ever had. Certainly in Colombia, and probably that I've ever had. It was moist. It was wrapped up in this leaf. What was it, a palm leaf or something?
Cooked it over a fire.
Cooked it over like a barbecue fire kind of thing. And oh my goodness, so amazing. The rice was delicious. They had an interesting kind of tortilla made out of cassava flour, which we added some marmalade to, and it was amazing. I would come back here just for the fish, I think. So good.
After lunch, we went out with a guide named Dario. And Dario was super cool because we found out kind of later on as he was taking us around that he's not just from like that area, that part of the Amazon in Colombia that's sort of more accessible. He's actually from like deep in the Amazon rainforest. The way that you get to his village is by taking a little dugout canoe for 5 days down the river. That's where he's from. And so we were like, wow, this guy is legit, like he knows the rainforest.
My father is Chukuna and my mother is Matapi.
Matapi.
As we were walking around, Dario kept picking things for us to try. And the things that you wouldn't necessarily think of, I mean, we wouldn't think of to eat. We had stevia, which was really good, and some other things, but our favorite was he actually opened a cacao pod.
Oh, yeah.
See?
Con eso es que se hacen las chocolatinas. Chocolate.
Whoa.
I've always wanted to see this.
Esas son las semillas.
Does it? You can eat one. Whoa.
Oh.
It's good?
I think it's strawberry.
Él me dice, como fresas.
One really cool part of Amazon World is that they've got a little, sort of like a little tribal village set up where you can see a house that represents 3 of the different kinds of houses built by some of the tribes that live in the Colombian Amazon. And inside one of them, there was this set of, it was kind of like these rubber mallet drums, and they actually use it for communicating among their tribe or to kind of send a message through the jungle because it kind of reverberates through, and it's a method of communication between the tribes.
Keep going. You're killing it. One more time.
Even though in the Amazon in general we saw so many amazing animals and fauna, etc., one of the things that the kids keep bringing up is how much they enjoyed using the bow and arrow and blow darts at Amazon World.
Get the bowl, like, get your hand a little higher, slide it up a little. Okay, go ahead. Good. Hand out. Firm grip. Get this here. Now.
In something, so it's strong enough to stick into something.
Blow hard. So hard.
As hard as you can. Blow. Blow.
Actually, Stephanie was the first of us to actually hit the target with the bow and arrow, and it was her first shot she took.
Go back a little higher and to the left of what you want to hit. Actually, a little to the right of what you want to hit.
Yeah!
I did it! Bullseye. One of the things that I loved about getting to meet Anna Maria and Dario on this last day was that I felt like we had been, in coming in contact with the natural world in the Amazon, getting to know its landscapes and then getting to know its creatures, and then we got to know the people, and it was so neat to get a bit of a taste of the wisdom and the knowledge that they have of the rainforest and of the things that it holds. And I liked listening to Anna Maria talk about the different things that the rainforest contained, but we actually got to see it firsthand. Dario had given us these little mosquito coils, the kind that you light and they burn on the end, so because there was a lot of bugs there. And one of the kids had been holding it and then they burned themselves. And Anna Maria came immediately to the rescue. She started pawing around on the ground, picking up herbs and chewing them up and making basically a little paste with this herb. And she started putting it on the kids' burns. And I was just so impressed by that. I love herbalism myself. I think it's amazing. But just to watch somebody in the rainforest who understands everything that's there and to see them using that was just, for me, that was a really special experience. Overall, it was just the perfect afternoon, a great way to spend our final day there, and I just so appreciated the hospitality that Dario and especially Anna Marie showed us. They just made it such a special memory.
Oh my goodness, look at his mouth. Oh my goodness.
I'll eat it.
After such an amazing time in the rainforest, it almost felt like, how could we even beat that? But we were super excited to go to our next country, which had been on our bucket list for a really long time.
Under the sun, ooh,